competition has stated notice.
Oh, my God.
Good luck keeping up with us. Amateurs.
It's the only thing that is currently not sucking in Cleveland. It's the Barbecue Central Show.
Live from Cleveland, Ohio, it's the Barbecue Central Show on the Barbecue Central Radio Network.
Welcome to the Barbecue Central Show. What's happening? Great to have you aboard. Welcome to another edition of the Barbecue Central Show. Centralites, how's your life? I am doing well right here in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame city, the barbecue capital of the North Coast, Cleveland, Ohio, wherever you are. Hope you're doing very well. Thanks for joining me tonight. Jam-packed show as always, but even more jam-packed as usual. Packed like a to-be Thanksgiving turkey. Direct programming note right off the top, by the way. If you were looking for Drew Keenan from the Bubba Keg, supposedly joining me here in the next few minutes. If you didn't get the newsletter that goes out around noon every Tuesday to let you know what's happening on the show, you would not know that he had to drop out. He had some personal things that came up, so we've rescheduled him for the first Tuesday in November. So look for that. Drew Keenan rescheduled. What didn't drop out, and probably the most important interview of the night, no disrespect to Drew and the guys at the Bubba Keg, because we love that product, is a second segment interview with the most recent winner of the American Royal Invitational, that being Todd Johns of Pork Pullin Plowboys barbecue fame. They've been having a great year, certainly no doubt about it. Putting all names in a hat, the Royal widely considered to be one of the, if not the competition to win the World Series of Barbecue, as it's known amongst the competition circles. So Todd Johns from Pork Pullin Plowboys joining me right around 17 past the hour. So we'll be talking about how it all went down over the weekend, and then, of course, they turn around. A lot of teams take part in that open portion the following day after the Invitational ends. We'll get into that a little bit as well. So look for that right around 17 past the hour. After that, hey, take. Thoughts, takes, more takes, interview, and then third segment will be more of like the first segment, a lot of me talking. Wanted to address one thing. Going to be doing something a little different with the show. Usually I give out a phone number. We have a little background. We have giveaways of the show. Giveaways aren't going to go away per se, but there's definitely going to be kind of revised in how I do it. I'm looking to take this show that is currently on the internet and get it on terrestrial radio. Terrestrial is like this term that has become very popular ever since Howard Stern made the jump to satellite radio off of regular FM or AM for that matter. But I'm trying to do the opposite. I'm looking to not necessarily stop the internet show, but also get it up on terrestrial radio. I'd like to syndicate it throughout the country if possible. Looking into ways of doing that, putting together affiliate packages and gimmicky demo promos for program directors, all that great stuff that you don't really care about. Show's not going away, but in order for me to do that and position the show best to take advantage of the potential terrestrial radio market, which I think is big, otherwise I really wouldn't bother looking into it, I need to vanilla the show just a tad. Stop referencing certain days of the week and day, time. Got to eliminate the call-in number. Although I want the feedback from the Centralites, I have to encourage you to do it via email, bbqcentralradio@gmail.com. The way we're going to set up the contest giveaways are more like this. If I can work in some type of contest via the email, I'll do that. Otherwise, it's going to be done on one of the two social media outlets that I use, that being Twitter and Facebook. Still have companies looking to give away products, get their names out, take advantage of the social media that I have at my disposal for the Centralites. We just gave away 3 things from Fred's Music and Barbecue end of last week and into the weekend for free. So if you have a Twitter account, you want to follow me to keep track of prizes potentially winning, look for me at BBQ Central Show. If you follow me on, or you can also friend me up on Facebook. I don't know what the link is to that, so I will put that on the show notes for tonight. So if you have a Facebook account, you could probably just search my name or search Barbecue Central Show, and you should find me with relative ease. Otherwise, I'll just put it up on the links portion of the show after the show airs, like I always do for every show. So, more or less, that's how we're going to be doing the giveaways from now. It's going to be probably done through Twitter. It's going to be done through Facebook. I can link those two together so everybody has fair shake at winning the cool free stuff, because we all know it's about the free stuff. Or you can continually email the show with your thoughts if you have a particular thought about how a guest sounded for a segment, or you want to ask that guest a question while we're in segment interview. You can do that again. Same email address, bbqcentralradio@gmail.com. We're just going to be kind of doing away with the phone number till we have some type of result from the terrestrial radio push that we are going to be doing. If you know a talk radio station in your city that you think would benefit from having the show, please email me, bbqcentralradio@gmail.com. Give me any contact information you have about that radio station, and I will send them out a packet. Maybe you can be a Ground Roots affiliate movement mover and shaker for the Barbecue Central Show. That would be well appreciated. All right, so let's move on to a couple things. I have a couple takes here before we jump out and lock and load. Todd Johns from the Pork Pullin Plowboys talking about the American Royal coming up just about 11 minutes from now. You know, it's coming back up. I see it coming back up in internet forums. I see it coming back up again on the television. I see it coming back up on the food blogs that I'm reading. Do you know where I'm going with this? It's that sealing in the juices by searing the meat. Could this be a bigger pet peeve of mine? I doubt it. Why? Why are people continuing to spread and proliferate this incorrect information? When you sear your meat, you are not sealing in any juices. You're not. You're caramelizing the skin. You're giving it a nice crust. Searing is only giving you a taste and texture benefit. It is not sealing in the juices. Don't say it. Just because some guy on television or some girl on television says you want to put a nice sear on your steak or your chicken or whatever it is to seal in those juices, they are wrong. They're wrong. And here's why they're wrong, and I will go over it one more time. If you want to find the hottest grill you can get, go find Tom Cruise, tell him to fire up the F-14 Tomcat, and hang a steak off of a barbecue hook. And tell him to fire up Afterburner Willie. Both sides. I mean, can you get a better sear than that? I doubt it. Then slam that bad boy down on a plate and wait 5 minutes, like you're supposed to let the juices redistribute. Okay? And then, when you pick that steak up off the plate, I bet it's not bone dry. Do you know why? Because searing that steak indeed did not seal in the juices. Thank you. So, let's get one thing straight. Searing does not seal in the juices. If you say it, stop it. I'm just teaching you something tonight. You're welcome. I'm happy to help. I'm happy to spread the knowledge. Don't say it anymore. And when you see somebody say it, politely correct them and let them know why, give them the science, and let them know.
Get that weak stuff out of here.
That's right. That's right. Get that weak stuff out of here, Austin Carr. Searing does not seal in the juices. Just stop saying it. And don't be that guy. Sees me on the street and stops me. Tells me that searing seals in the juices. Because like I've said before in the show open, we'll fist fight about that. Take that one to the bank.
Boom. Hey. Out of here.
All right, so sealing in the juices, incorrect. Jack Daniel's coming up the next few weeks. That'll be interesting. We've been taking people's thoughts on handicapping and who they think is going to be taking this world championship of barbecue. We'll be talking to Todd Johns about the Jack Daniels this year. By the way, So if you have a thought on who you think has the best shot, you can go to the Barbecue Central Forum, go into the competition section, see the full list of the jack draw that took place a handful of weeks ago, and make your call from there. I think that CancerSucksChicago.com, Scotty Johnson, is going to be pulling out the win. The show that I actually did the handicap on with Smoky Mountain Smokers, Joe Amore, he's picking Iowa Smoky D's. And last week, Dr. Barbecue weighed in. Was that 2 weeks ago? 2 weeks ago, Ray Lampe weighed in with his thought, thinking that Myron Mixon would be the guy that would be taking home the world championship of barbecue. So Jack taking place end of this month, that being October, and following week after that, the best of the best in Douglas, Georgia as well. Quick show update. A few weeks ago, I did an interview with a guy by the name of Chef Jaime Grande. He's the guy that did the diabetic-friendly, the ADA-approved barbecue sauces. And he had mentioned on the way out of that segment that he had a ketchup that was pending approval by ADA. Once that passed the approval process, he would get that to market ASAFP. And I got an email from him middle of last week, just after the show. And he said, hey, guess what? Ketchup approved. So the good news is this. If you are diabetic, if you have a diabetic family member or you have a diabetic friend, whatever the case may be, coworker, and they have sat there longingly in the corner, if you've been sucking down succulent pulled pork sandwiches and beef briskets and ribs smothered in non-diabetic friendly barbecue sauce, now they can be included into the family. Bring them into the fold. Chef Jaime Grande with their diabetic-friendly barbecue sauces and now diabetic-friendly ketchup. Now they don't have to eat naked French fries anymore. Does it get any better than that? Naked French fries. Nice. Look for that. Chef Jaime Grande, ADA, finally approved the ketchup. Good job. Also, quick show note from last week. Had Bob Garnash from the Ribolator on. I believe tonight is the last night that you can take advantage of that special $79.95 price on the Ribolator. Go to Ribolator.com and then just click on that email address or the contact link. You can also just go info@Ribolator.com. And then reference radio show in the subject line, and he will hook you up with that special price of $79.95. That also included the shipping. So the shipping is on Bob and the Ribolator. So know this. You're saving $20 because that price was going to go up to like $99.95. It's like 100 bones. So you're saving $20 plus the thing is heavy. It's odd shaped, so you know the shipping cost is going to kick you right in the square in the nuts too. So you're probably saving another $12 to $20 on shipping. You're saving anywhere between $30 and $1 million by taking advantage of that. Ribolator.com or info@Ribolator.com. Reference the radio show, won't you? All right. Quick reminder about my good friends at the Barbecue Guru. You know, if you've been thinking about buying an automatic pit temperature control device, there's been a lot of talk on the barbecue forums here recently about these micro stick burners, the pellet cookers, or if you don't have one of those, if you want something that helps you keep your pit temperature without having to tend fire, although typically, you know, the charcoal cookers, if you have a good one, don't require a lot of effort on your part. But if you need to multitask, if you need to go outside the house and do something, an automatic pit temperature control device could be your saving grace. You can put a brisket on at 7 o'clock in the morning, go to work, and Barbecue Guru automatic pit temperature control devices are taking care of the rest. And they have 4 different models to choose from. Not only can they fit your budget, they can fit your level of geekdom. If you want something that just is going to control the pit temperature and that's it, Nano Q is the way to go. You want something a little bit more geek interface, the DigiQ 2 is definitely something you want to check out. If you want to totally geek out Jones, you want to be able to work your computer interface on your laptop or your desktop to control and raise and lower the pit temperature control from your computer, CyberQ has totally revolutionized that whole deal. You can control 2 separate cookers and up to 4 different fans with that CyberQ. Or if you just, one of those guys that likes to wander around your neighborhood, You can be free to roam with the Procom 4 wireless 600 feet in any direction to control your pit temperature control. You need to talk to your friend down the street while you're popping brewskis. You can do that. 2 ways to look them up. TheBBQGuru.com is the website, or you can give them a call toll-free at 800-288-GURU. That's 800-288-GURU. We're going to take a quick break. Then we will raise up Todd Johns from the Pork Pullin Plowboys to talk about his past weekend at the American Royal, winning the Invitational side. We'll also talk about the Open, plus more of my takes and thoughts about barbecue and whatnot segment after that. Stick around. We'll be right back. You're listening to the Barbecue Central Show.
The future of barbecue is already here at thebarbecueguru.com. From the amazing guru that monitors and controls the temperatures of any charcoal, wood, or electric pit to the Caldera Tallboy knockdown smoker. Yes, it breaks down and stores flat, yet it's still a robust, sturdy, portable cooker and smokehouse. It also serves as an efficient temperature-controlled convection oven using wood or charcoal. The Tallboy is designed to fit all catering pans and can be used as a warming oven. You can cook in any style you choose. Make ribs, chicken, jerky, vegetables, smoked cheese, whatever you want. Take it to KCBS competitions and unload it from the trunk of your car. TheBarbecueGuru.com is where you'll find the Caldera 3-Bay Caterer. It's stainless steel and uses charcoal or sterno for chafing purposes. And it doubles as a 3-bay sink or wash station with hot water and knocks down in seconds with no tools required for transportation and storage. The future of barbecue is here at thebarbecueguru.com. That's www.thebbqguru.com or call 1-800-288-GURU.
Joe B's gives you every vitamin and all the minerals naturally to get energy and feel great. Go to joebees.com. That's JOEBEES.com.
The only show of its kind on any kind of radio. It's the Barbecue Central Show. Barbecue Central Show.
Forget going from site to site to get all your barbecue and grilling supplies and make your first and final stop at fredsmusicandbarbecue.com. In the market for a new barbecue pit, we have all the big name brands like Big Green Egg and more. As a matter of fact, Fred's is staffed by eggheads and carries all the parts and accessories for the Big Green Egg. More of a pellet head, you say? Fred's is the pellet grill superstore with grills in stock from Traeger, Green Mountain, and Country Smokers from Louisiana Grills. Fred also carries smokers from Cook Shack, Bradley, and Weber as well as a full lineup of charcoal grills. And once you're outfitted with your new smoker or grill, you'll find absolutely everything you need to make your barbecue or grilling experience a success. Fred is also the creator and distributor of Tasty Licks barbecue products, including their great line of rubs, spices, and sauces. You gotta try them. You can also get your hands on a full lineup of marinades, accessories, lump charcoal, wood chips, pellets, chunks, and even the great grilling tools from Stephen Reichland of Barbecue U fame. Check Fred out on the web at fredsmusicandbbq.com or check out their fully stocked showroom in beautiful Shillington, PA.
Get in the smoke. It's the Barbecue Central Show. Once again, here's your host, Greg Rempe.
All right, welcome back to the Barbecue Central Show. This portion of the show brought to you by Yoder's Smoky Mountain Barbecue. They are the leading online retailer of Meadow Creek barbecue equipment. These smokers and pig roasters, chicken cookers, all handcrafted in the Amish country of Lancaster, Pennsylvania. Goal is to give you outstanding value for the price, help you enjoy easy and profitable barbecues for years to come. Check them out, SeriousBBQs.com. They also have a full lineup of rubs and sauces, SeriousBBQs.com. Horrifically cheesy segue, but talking about SeriousBBQs.com, let's welcome in guest for this evening, Todd Johns, Pork Pullin Plowboys. Todd, how are you tonight?
Great. Thanks for having me on the show, Greg. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, not a problem, Todd. Obviously, I'm not telling you any news. You happened to scoop up the Invitational Championship at the American Royal this past weekend, so having had a few days away from it and being able to soak a few different forums in and probably getting a lot of hearty hand clasps from coworkers and so forth. Thoughts, reaction, kind of your overall thought of how the whole weekend went down on the Invitational side.
Wow, that's a huge question, and I'm still in a lot of disbelief and pinching myself a lot because never would I have guessed walking into this weekend that something like that would have happened. And, the American Royal is a huge a huge deal. It's a huge contest. There's so much talent that's there that I don't know. I don't walk in with any expectations of anything at something like that. And what you walk in with is, I want to hear my name called. I want someone to know I was there. And I want to make sure that, or I'm hopeful that, at least they get to hear my name and I get to walk up to that stage. And that's kind of where it all, started. And our first call was in chicken. And the thing about that is I'm like the world's worst chicken cook. And, I bring Andy in to cook chicken because I'm so terrible at it. And here we get 5th at the American Royal Invitational in chicken. And it's like, oh my God, we just got 5th in chicken at the American Royal. This is like the most amazing thing ever. And, when I've been replaying this in the last couple of days for, friends and coworkers who weren't there or whatever, I mean, that was the first thing going through all of us was we just got a chicken call. That didn't just happen, and it was 5th place. And so, if it would have ended right there, that would have been like the best thing that could have happened all weekend. That just would have made the weekend. It would have, been worth all the work and all the expense and, all the things it takes to get there.
Talking with Todd Johns from Pork Pullin Plowboy, 2009 American Royal Grand Champ Invitational side. Go ahead. You were going to finish the thought there, Todd. No,
I was just going to kind of just continue through it. So then, ribs go by and we didn't get a call and you're really not expecting anything and you're just sitting back with your, chicken ribbon, just, excited about that. And then we get the call in pork for 8th place.
Right.
And then the next thought is, oh my God, we just got 2 calls at the American Royal. This is so unbelievable. And
top 10 to boot.
Pardon me?
Top 10 to boot.
Yeah, and a top 10 in pork to boot. And so, and then they're calling brisket. And the thing with brisket was I totally changed the way that I cooked brisket at the American Royal. And I cooked this contest with Randy, who's my brother-in-law. And Randy looked at me and said, "What are you doing?" And I said, "It's the American Royal. And if we're going to be here and we want to be competitive, we're going to have some burn ends. And we can't just turn in slices because I know these guys and I know they're going to be turned in burn ends. And I know that's what the judges are going to want. And if we don't do that, we might as well not even turn in brisket." And I've been struggling with burn ends all year. Anytime I've turned them in, they've usually tanked me. And at the last contest I was at, which was last week in Omaha, I tried something a little different, and I got a 4th place call in brisket. And so this week I took it like a major step further and totally changed what I had done. And they turned out fantastic, probably the best burn ends ever that, we've produced. And so I thought, boy, this is going to be really nice in the box. Now, the slices were okay, but we turned everything in. And we thought, that was probably some of the better brisket we've had this year. But still, that doesn't mean anything at the American Royal. You've got so much talent that you're up against, and there's so many people competing. And, when they called us for 1st place in brisket, I mean, it was just like through the roof. And the thing I immediately thought was last year, I cooked with Andy Groneman, and Andy is a part-time member of my team. I'm sometimes a part-time member of his team, right. And we cooked the Invitational together last year because we qualified together, and we won 1st place in pork last year. And to have, if you've ever seen an American Royal trophy, it's the Royal, so there's this crown, and it's on a nice wood pedestal, butcher block. They're just from a physical standpoint, they're amazing. From an emotional standpoint, they're amazing. To have an American Royal trophy in your hand as any one of the 8 people, who got to do that this weekend will tell you it's just amazing, and it's just the highlight of your year at least, and maybe your career. And so we got to experience that last year, and it's like my most prized barbecue possession. And when they call us for first and brisket, my first thought was, I have 2 of these. This isn't happening. There's no way I now have 2 of these crowns. And last year was such an unbelievable thing. And then here and to me, barbecue is about big meat, and chicken and ribs, are part of the competition. But barbecue, you can cook ribs and chicken, an hour, 4 hours, 5 hours. But the barbecue is about the low and slow, the big meats, the pork shoulders and the briskets. Mm-hmm. And to have a crown from the Royal for each one of those categories, to me, is something I really appreciate, and it was just a real sense of accomplishment for me. So it hadn't even sunk in yet that we just got 3 calls, and I hadn't even, because so much was going on, I hadn't been paying that much attention to how many calls other people had. But I knew that Caveman Cuisine had a 180 in pork. And as anyone knows, it's not about placements and it's not about calls. It's about points to win the overall. And so it all came down to that, where were my ribs at? We had no idea. As it turned out, they were 90th place.
Right.
So if we would have known they were 90th place, there would have been, probably a lot more apprehension, but about the whole thing. But as I came off the stage with the brisket, I saw some friends over to the side who were planning on coming out and spending the evening with us, and they're yelling at me. And so my family and my team were all up in the top of the stands, and it was starting to sink in, wow, we could probably be, top 3 here. And, top 3 will get a call to the stage, and it would mean another crown. And I wasn't even thinking we just won this. I'm thinking we are most likely top 3, and I had to go kind of off by myself and process that a little bit. And I got a lot of I'll use a politically correct term. I got a lot of abuse for the sunglasses I had on, and I do that sometimes at awards because I can be a little nervous, and I can be a little emotional at awards if things are happening. And so it's kind of my World Series of Poker deal. I kind of just put on the shades so that at least I feel a little less insecure or something. So I have the shades on, I have the hat down, and I'm just off to the side thinking, I just got to sit and remember to breathe. And when Andy and I won our first grand champion together, and it was Andy's first and my second a couple of years ago, or the beginning of last year, Mark Hyman from Great Girls of Fire, who's an amazing cook and a friend, and as things were going down for us, Mark walked over and just kind of stood behind us and in a very calm way said, breathe, just breathe, take it all in, be in the moment, just breathe. And Mark's voice was in the back of my head the whole time as I was, standing off to the side of Hale Arena. And, they called top 20 up, and I wasn't hearing our name, and I really wasn't expecting it until probably hopefully in top 3, but maybe the top 5. When they called Caveman Cuisine for reserve grand champion, the second place, it was like, wow, we most likely just did this. I mean, it didn't even commit. I hadn't even committed to it until I heard the name, because I've seen it happen before. It's happened to me before where, the signs lead to, this is going to go down, but you don't want to commit it to your emotions until it happens, until you hear the name.
Because you could have easily finished 124th out of 124 in ribs.
Exactly. Exactly. And you know, that kind of stuff has happened to us where 2 years ago, we were positioned pretty well at the Great American, and we finished 151st in ribs. If we would have finished 101st, we would have won the contest. And so you just, and instead we finished 9th, you know, so that stuff happens, and I've seen it happen. And so I'm very guarded about getting, you know, accepting it until I hear it. And that's where I was at the time. And I just kind of needed to have that isolation to just keep myself in check a little bit. And I don't know, this may all sound freaky or something, but that's just where I was at. I mean, it's a very emotional thing. I mean, it's such a huge thing. And, of course, after they call the reserve grand champion, you know, they pause and then they have to thank everybody for being there, and they have to thank all the sponsors, and you're going, oh my God, just go on with it, you know? And then when they called my name, I mean, I just dropped, you know, and the first person who was there, I talked to Andy yesterday about this. The first person that was there to greet me was Andy, and just, you know, gave me this huge hug and tried to lift me up, but I've lost a lot of weight this year, but not enough for him to pick me up. And he'll probably kill me for saying this, but he's crying and I'm crying, and it's like, Andy and Randy are my two best friends in the world, and I got to cook with Randy, and I got to, you know, have Andy be the first person I saw after I heard the name called, and that's what it's all about, is celebrating the stuff with your friends. And barbecue's such a great thing that way, that from 11:55 to 1:35 on Saturday afternoon, we're all cutting each other's throats. But anytime outside of that, it's just the most. It's the band of brothers, you know, and all weekend it's, you know, somebody needs something, I got an extra, go take it, you know, whatever you need. So as competitive as it is, and as much as everyone wants to win, they're so happy for everyone else, and it's great. That's why I do it, and I love barbecue. It's been so good to us, even without the awards. We have so many lifelong friends that have come out of this that, I love barbecue. So
we're talking with Todd Johns. He's the Pork Pullin Plowboys pitmaster, and he just won the 2009 American Royal Grand Champion. On the invitational side, Todd, I didn't plan on doing this, but could I hold you over for a commercial break? And I want to get your thoughts on this year's upcoming Jack Daniels, and maybe some thoughts between those two competitions, between the American Royal and the Jack.
Absolutely.
Okay, stand by. We're going to take a short break. You're listening to the Barbecue Central show right here on the Barbecue Central Radio Network. Stand by. We'll be right back.
Forget going from site to site to get all your barbecue and grilling supplies and make your first and final stop at fredsmusicandbarbecue.com. In the market for a new barbecue pit, we have all the big name brands like Big Green Egg and more. As a matter of fact, Fred's is staffed by eggheads and carries all the parts and accessories for the Big Green Egg. More of a pellet head, you say? Fred's is the pellet grill superstore with grills in stock from Traeger, Green Mountain, and Country Smokers from Louisiana Grills. Fred also carries smokers from Cook Shack, Bradley, and Weber as well as a full lineup of charcoal grills. And once you're outfitted with your new smoker or grill, you'll find absolutely everything you need to make your barbecue or grilling experience a success. Fred is also the creator and distributor of Tasty Licks barbecue products, including their great line of rubs, spices, and sauces. You gotta try them. You can also get your hands on a full lineup of marinades, accessories, lump charcoal, wood chips, pellets, chunks, and even the great grilling tools from Stephen Reichland of Barbecue U fame. Check Fred out on the web at fredsmusicandbbq.com or check out their fully stocked showroom in beautiful Shillington, PA.
Joe B's is only $99 for a big 6-month supply with free shipping, and you get a 7th month free. That's less than 50 cents a day for energy and to feel great. Go to joebees.com.
Big name interviews. Coverage of competition barbecue. And the only host willing to give his honest opinion on all topics in the world of barbecue. It's the Barbecue Central Show.
Barbecue has never been easier with the Barbecue Guru. The Barbecue Guru is a temperature control and monitor for all pits, charcoal, wood, electric, your pit. It easily attaches to any smoker or pit and gives you simple, trouble-free control of your temperatures, so you can make championship quality barbecue every time and all the time. And it's location-free. Take it anywhere. This amazing breakthrough in barbecue technology is a microprocessor-controlled draft system that uses temperature monitors and a small fan to keep your temperatures constant. The stainless steel Guru Pit Minder gives you a choice of controls from 90 to 370 degrees. So cold smoking, pepper drying, making cheese or jerky, or fabulous briskets and ribs is nothing short of effortless. The Procom 4 lets you monitor your pit from up to 600 feet away. And there's more. Check out the full line of products and accessories for the future of barbecue with new items on the way. Visit thebarbecueguru.com. That's www.thebbqguru.com. Or call 1-800-288-GURU.
Now, let's get back to the Barbecue Central Show on LA Talk Radio.
All right, welcome back. This is the Barbecue Central Show right here on the Barbecue Central Radio Networks, talking with Todd Johns from the Pork Pullin Plowboys, most recent American Royal Invitational winner. This portion of the show brought to you by D-Dog's Barbecue Rubs. You know, people hate the shipping costs on stuff on the internet, so here's an idea. Go to your local mom and pop store that sells all the barbecue and grilling stuff and give them this information. Darren at ddogsbbq.com. Tell them to write Darren, give them all their store information. Darren will stock them up locally, so all you have to do is get in your car and roll down to the local 5 and Dime Willie. You will get hooked up with D-Dog's Barbecue Rub, but you got to do your part. Darren, D-A-R-I-N, Darren at ddogsbbq.com. And as, of course, Todd probably knows, D-Dog's Barbecue Rub is better than ketchup. Todd, wanted to hold you over for a quick segment here, or just for a few more minutes. Jack Daniels is coming up, obviously. That has a whole different selection process than the American Royal in terms of qualifying. You have to meet certain requirements in regards to winning grand championships, and then you get entered into a state, and there's balls that are bungs, or I mean, it's all homoerotic in a certain way. But nevertheless, in a large group of circles, for instance, you just won the American Royal Invitational. You didn't get picked to go to the Jack Daniels. So when the arguments ensue or the conversations take place about which ones do you want to win, which competition shows this team is the best or this team is the best, because the American Royal Invitational has the best of the best competing head-to-head, and the Jack Daniels technically doesn't because you're not there, do you find the American Royal win on the Invitational side to be better, or would you rather win the Jack? Would you give away your American Royal win to win the Jack?
Would I give away my American Royal win to win the Jack?
You're not saying no right off the bat.
I'm not saying no, and I'm not saying... So, to put it this way, this weekend we had in the Invitational, and I assume the Open, we had 20 of the top 25 teams competing. And of the top 20, there was only one that wasn't there, I believe. Maybe two. But, so, yeah, you have more of a concentration of, the teams that have been successful throughout this year. And there's also the Open, and I think you should throw that in too, because this, after I've been back to work and I've seen friends the last couple of days, they're like, "You won the American Royal, you won the whole thing," and I'll say, "Well, I won part of the American Royal, and the other part is the Open," and I explain that there are really two different contests, and they're hard to compare each other in terms of which one's more important, because that's what everyone wants to know. Well, was your win more important than Boondoggle's win? They're to me, I think they're both equally prestigious, because on one hand, it's the 124 grand champions bringing their A game, but on Sunday it's 500 people, and probably 120 or 100 of those grand champions are back doing it again. So, Boondoggle beat almost all of the same people, that I competed against, plus a few hundred more. So, you have to throw the Open in there too. And the Open's a little bit of a crapshoot because you've got all these tables and all these judges and all these teams and so forth. And, hats off to those guys for what they did. And I would trade places with them in a heartbeat. Either one to me is equally cool. The Jack, I would take either one, honestly. If I won the Jack, I wouldn't sit there and mope because I didn't win the Royal, and vice versa. I think all three, they're.
Well, let's put it like this. Let me pose it to you this way.
Okay.
Can there be any argument that the American Royal Invitational pits all of the best on one given night, and the Jack doesn't?
I don't think either one of them do, and that's the problem, is that we don't really have a playoff. We don't really have a way to say who's the best other than a points race, because not all the best teams are even at the Royal. So there were more there, but there weren't all of them. QI wasn't there. Rhythm and Q weren't there. How can you say, without those guys that, the winner of that contest, is the top dog,
Interesting take. I think from my humble talk show position, the invitational win has to be, at least in my eyes, again, I'm just a host, I'm an idiot. The Open the following day is the antithesis, the exact textbook definition of a crapshoot. You have 500 teams there. A fifth of you guys were already up for 24 hours doing the invitational program. So I think whether anybody wants to admit it or not, you're at some type of physical disadvantage, mental disadvantage, having already competed prior where 400 other teams didn't have to do that. Then, of course, there's the storied stories of what the hell is going on back there. People are firing up gas ovens and electric cookers, and there's so many people, so many tables, so many booths, it can't be regulated, and there's the seedy goings on. So I'm not discounting anybody's win or anybody's success in the Open, but it certainly, in my eyes, doesn't hold the salt that the invitational side does, simply because those teams have proven beyond a shadow of a doubt that they are winning weekend and weekend out. I could have drove to Kansas City and ponied up money to get into the Royal Open, and I could have had just as good a shot of winning as anybody else did, and I'm an idiot. So I think the invitational side is a better win, and on a lot of points is probably a better win than the Jack, although when I pose it to a lot of the big names in the barbecue competition world, when I ask them which one would they rather win point blank, majority of them side with the Jack. I don't understand it.
I would say I'll take the American Royal Invitational. I really would. And it's here in my hometown. And it's something that, being a local team, it's something everyone knows. When I walk into work on Monday, everyone knows what the American Royal means.
Right.
And and I think, you make a good point on, the concentration, and like I said, the concentration of teams that was here is definitely as great. And you cannot argue that it's greater than the Jack Daniels, but I'm not going to take anything away from the Jack Daniels. And if we ever get the opportunity, and being a Missouri-based, or what I would call a MoCan-based team, Missouri and Kansas, good luck trying to get drawn from these two states. We have such a concentration of contests that you probably have a greater chance of winning 7 than you do getting drawn.
Yeah, I was saying you're either going to win 7, or you're going to have to go out of state to go win a grand champion there at a proclaimed event. But now, and to be fair, the Pork Pullin Plowboys have been having a very good year. You're 14th ranked overall currently in the Kansas City Barbecue Society points chase. You've had, now with last weekend's win, 5 grand championships, I believe, in 2009. So and you've had a number of top 10, top 5 finishes. So you guys have been doing really well. You made barbecue history earlier by winning the chest to chest and butt to butt. So there's certainly, this isn't a one-off fluke for the Pork Pullin Plowboys. You guys have been certainly dominating the competitions that you have been taking place in. So I think you guys deserve all the credit in the world. You deserve all the credit in the world for obviously last weekend as well, and your friends and everybody that helped you. Give us the
thank you very much.
Yeah, sure. Give us the website for the Plowboys. I know you guys got rubs to sell as well, and I would imagine that they're flying off the shelves right now.
I think they are, yeah. So we're at plowboysbbq.com, and we actually don't sell direct. One of the things that I did from the very beginning with our products is I didn't want to compete with the retailers. And so, I'll sell a few shakers at a contest or something like that if someone needs something. But, all of the places where you can buy Plowboys products are listed. All the online places are listed right on the homepage. And if I can throw out a couple of online folks.
Go ahead.
That'd be all right. Hog Eyes, and I appreciate everything Hog Eyes has done for me over the last few years. Great Lakes Barbecue Supply has come on strong in the last year as a new great supplier with great customer service. Barbecue Addicts, Kansas City Barbecue Store, Barbecue Pro Shop, and there's a lot of others. But we're looking this year. That's the other thing that just has blown me away this year is how our rub sales have gone with two products. We're looking at doing 10,000 pounds of rub this year out the door.
Nice. Well,
and never would have dreamed that kind of success either. And I want to mention that Boondoggle, the winners of the American Royal Open, were using Plowboys products on their brisket, and they're going to be sponsored next year by me. All the rub they want, and those guys did a great job.
Man, well, no wonder they won the open side.
Absolutely.
That's right. Quick question before I let you go, Todd. How many times have you spent profiling in the mirror and with the cape and the crown? That's from George from the Brethren.
With or without other clothes on?
What?
Get that big stuff out of here.
All right. I think we'll leave it there. Todd Johns is the current reigning champion. American Royal Invitational just took place this past weekend. You can find him at plowboysbbq.com. Todd, appreciate the conversation tonight. Continued success.
Thanks, Greg. I really appreciate it.
Not a problem. That's Todd Johns if you need him. Pork Pullin Plowboys. Grand champs at the American Royal this past weekend. On the invitational side, Boondoggle wins the Open. Again, he's 14th overall in the KCBS, so can't sneeze. 5th in chicken, 8th in pork, 90th in ribs, and 1st in brisket were the invitational results, and first place took it with 684.57 and then a number of other decimal places down. Second place was 683.42, so it was close, no doubt. Congratulations to him. So I will thank Todd Johns again for coming on. Stay tuned. Coming up after me is Broad Topics. They're going to be talking about current events like the David Letterman having sex with intern. What? And that icky Mackenzie Phillips love affair with her dad. I don't even know what that means. So if you're into that, stay tuned. Laura Joan, Kelly, and Jillian will be bringing all those current events to you in fun and fantabulous fashion. Next week, we have... What do we have next week? I can tell you what we have next week. Oh, it's Scotty Johnson, CancerSucksChicago.com. So we talked to him about the Jack Daniels. It'll be coming up in a few weeks amongst some other items as well. I'm sure we'll fit in CancerSucksChicago.com and what that's all about as well. Hope you enjoyed the show tonight. If you have any questions or concerns, please feel free to email me, bbqcentralradio@gmail.com. Until next Tuesday at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, this is your program host, Greg Rempe, and proud U.S. American. Good night now.
The future of barbecue is already here at thebarbecueguru.com. From the amazing guru that monitors and controls the temperatures of any charcoal, wood, or electric pit to the Caldera Tallboy knockdown smoker. Yes, it breaks down and stores flat, yet it's still a robust, sturdy, portable cooker and smokehouse. It also serves as an efficient temperature-controlled convection oven using wood or charcoal. The Tallboy is designed to fit all catering pans and can be used as a warming oven. You can cook in any style you choose, like ribs, chicken, jerky, vegetables, smoked cheese, whatever you want. Take it to KCBS competitions and unload it from the trunk of your car. TheBarbecueGuru.com is where you'll find the Caldera 3-Bay Caterer. It's stainless steel and uses charcoal or sterno for chafing purposes. And it doubles as a 3-bay sink or wash station with hot water and knocks down in seconds with no tools required for transportation and storage. The future of barbecue is here at TheBarbecueGuru.com. That's www.TheBBQGuru.com or call 1-800-288-GURU.
It's the only show where it's okay to rub your neighbor's breasts. It's the Barbecue Central Show.
Barbecue Central Show.
Joe B's gives you every vitamin and all the minerals naturally to get energy and feel great. Go to joebees.com. That's JOEBEES.com.
Forget going from site to site to get all your barbecue and grilling supplies and make your first and final stop at Fred's Music and Barbecue.com. In the market for a new barbecue pit, we have all the big name brands like Big Green Egg and more. As a matter of fact, Fred's is staffed by eggheads and carries all the parts and accessories for the Big Green Egg. More of a pellet head, you say? Fred's is the pellet grill superstore with grills in stock from Traeger, Green Mountain, and Country Smokers from Louisiana Grills. Fred also carries smokers from Cook Shack, Bradley, and Weber as well as a full lineup of charcoal grills. And once you're outfitted with your new smoker or grill, you'll find absolutely everything you need to make your barbecue or grilling experience a success. Fred is also the creator and distributor of Tasty Licks barbecue products, including their great line of rubs, spices, and sauces. You gotta try them. You can also get your hands on a full lineup of marinades, accessories, lump charcoal, wood chips, pellets, chunks, and even the great grilling tools from Stephen Reichland of Barbecue U fame. Check Fred out on the web at fredsmusicandbbq.com or check out their fully stocked showroom in beautiful Shillington, PA.